Thank you very much, and good morning to you too.
It was a little bit of a debate we were having here before we started this interview in terms of just the impact of this day. And I think maybe to some degree, although we are saying it to each other, we need to kind of feel it more and understand the weight and severity of what this day really means to loads of women that don't have their rights.
Absolutely. We were speaking now about, is it strange to say Happy Women's Day to women in a time where women are still being marginalized and still being perpetrated and considered second-class citizens or whatever. And my answer to that is yes, absolutely. The moments that we can stand up and say, yes, it is a great thing to be a woman. I mean, it's something that we should say every day and celebrate every single day. Then yes, say Happy Women's Day. Every single woman that you see today, say Happy Women's Day. Remind them that it is a good, beautiful thing to be a woman. And to be a human being as well. I mean, we were saying, when can we say Happy Humans Day? Celebrate being a woman every day.
Take me back to the day that you decided I want to be part of the creative industry, when that love for theatre started and it became a reality, a dream.
I kind of didn't choose it. It kind of chose me. I had always been performing for as long as I can remember. One of my earliest memories was being on stage, 5 years old, 1990. Yes, I've given away my age. And I played Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I played Snow White in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in an all-white school. And it was a big deal. And what I remember was just knowing that being on stage made sense. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Everything around me made sense. I mean, I was cueing kids around me for their lines and no, you must say your line now. And I was singing everyone's lines. So it all just made sense to me. So I think it was actually something that chose me as opposed to the other way around.
I can only imagine that there must be so many highlights in a career that has included The Secret Garden, The Boys in the Photograph, The Crucible. But if we had to be unfair and say pick one thing that stood out for you, one of those things, that's a ha-ha moment for me to say that, you know what, I've arrived, I'm doing a great job.
One of my bucket lists of people to have worked with in the industry, and there have been tons of amazing people that I've wanted to work with, but working with Sylvain Strike. Yeah. When I was able to go tick, having been directed by her in The Miser, that for me was one of the landmark jobs that I landed. But also, you can never get past the first job that you always get. So also, my first television series that I landed, which was a sitcom called Askis.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was also, landmark in my mind.
For those, we've had Sylvain Strike on our show so many times, but for those that don't know, she's the South Sea voice. Anyway, you're in an industry that, we see progression of women. There are a couple of creative directors at some of the theatres around the country, but yet we still feel that not a lot is being done, or not a lot enough is being done to kind of move women forward in the theatre space. Now you're a director. Talk to me about that hat, and how do you find that struggle for women to have the voice, to be liberated, to be able to stand on par with their contemporaries, their male contemporaries?
I think it's more of a technical thing. I think a lot of times we have the ability, or you'll know what your skills are. You'll be like, I know that I can do this, I know this, I know this, I know that. What I've come to understand and realize with directing specifically is that there's a lot of technical things that maybe one might not be so well versed in. So getting to know about lighting and all the technical things, and getting to understand, young people who study drama at tertiary institutions will go through a grueling process of working, stage managing and working behind the scenes and all of that stuff. I honestly think that just to be the best, you just need to know every single aspect of what it is that you're doing, whether it's in the creative world, whether it's in the financial sector, whether it's in government, whatever it is. If you can be the best that you can possibly be and know everything that you can possibly know about what it is that you do, nothing can stop you from being the best.
We often talk about the the issue around whether enough African stories are being told, and it's debatable. Looking at different venues, community work, whether there are the African stories being told. Is the right kind of story being told?
I think stories are told all the time, and I think it's more about what's being out there, or I'm trying to find the word, but it's more about exposure. Stories are being told all the time, and logistically, in terms of exposure, where those certain stories are being told is the more debatable thing. But there are theatres all over, and not a lot of people know that. And I think it's more about it's more about people knowing where to go. The Soweto Theatre, for example, is a fantastic space, beautiful space. Not a lot of people know about it because a lot of people are probably, whatever the reason is, don't go to the theatre. The Windy Brow Theatre, we all know about the Market Theatre, the Joburg Theatre. There's the University of Johannesburg Theatre. People staying in Pretoria. There are theatres everywhere. And I think it's more about, our society's kind of gotten to the point where we're so used to just getting things on our phone or finding things or having information brought to us, as opposed to getting up and going to a theatre on a Wednesday evening, after work or whatever it is.
Which is, by the way, a fantastic way to spend your evening.
Absolutely. So I think it's more about people just knowing what is out there, because not a single time have I brought someone who's not a theatre-going person. Did that person come out of watching that experience and go, I never want to go to the theatre again, So, yeah.
In 10 seconds, very quickly, what's your future like? What's on the horizon for Motlatji?
A lot coming up, very exciting times, and lots of theatre.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. That was actress and director Motlatji Ditodi speaking to us about just not only her own success story, but also what this International Women's Day means for all of us and how we should look at it. Let's go to Lebo, who is standing by.